Greetings, everybody. Welcome to week 3 in ENC1102. My brain lost where I was there for a second, but anyway, we're back. Let's take a look at what's happening this week and see what you should be working on. All right, so I always like to start, of course, with a little look at the calendar, and we are working on something we started last week, which is this week you're going to turn in the bibliography assignment, and then next week, excuse me, you will turn in the corresponding essay. So remember, we talked about it last week. This paper can really be about anything that you want. The point of the paper is to help you practice and hone your research skills as well as your documentation and formatting skills. If you are writing about something that is humanities-based, music, literature, any of that stuff, you're going to use MLA style. If you're writing about almost anything else in the world, you're going to use APA. And both your bibliography and your essay should be properly formatted depending on the content. So as you go through this assignment, the materials have not really changed since last week, but let me show you what you have available to you. Excuse me. There are reviews, of course, for the research as well as academic research, lectures on using the library and choosing a topic. And then, of course, there's a reminder of the assignment for the essay, because this bibliography is just helping you find potential sources for the essay. Now, on the bibliography, you're going to need to share at least 10 potential sources. And in addition to a full regular citation of them, you will have what's called an annotation. So you will have a summary and an evaluation of why this would or would not be a useful source in this particular paper. The vast majority of your resources should be coming from the library and not from the open internet. Now, you have to use the library, you have to use the internet to get into the library resources. So, that is part of what we're reviewing here. And it is entirely possible that there will be some things on websites that you need to use for this paper, but you do need to make sure that you are conducting good academic research, which typically means using primarily sources from the library. There are lots of tutorials in the library materials on how to find sources. If you need any help with that, please reach out. I am more than happy to help you with it. The vast majority of resources that we will use typically in this kind of paper and this kind of assignment will be articles and not full books. So when we do that, we typically are looking at library databases more so than the library catalog. There are a lot of specialized databases. There are also some really good general databases that you can use. And many of these you were hopefully exposed to in ENC 1101. But like I said, if you do need some help with it, maybe it's been a while since you had 1101, or you're just not sure where to go to find information, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to help you with it. We also, of course, have librarians who are very happy to help with things like this. So let me just really quickly show you the library's content so you can see where to go for some extra assistance. On the library's homepage, we have a link to the libraries, link to the Learning Center, and then, of course, testing services and Math Emporium, student accessibility services. We are focusing, of course, today on the library themselves. When you enter the library's link, you will find that you are doing what's called a primo search, which is a little bit of everything. but you can also target specific things by choosing a database. I do highly recommend using database searches simply because you're going to be finding things that you can easily digest. Part of the problem is if we find a whole book that could be relevant, that's great, but who's got time to read a whole book between now and Sunday night? So just kind of keep that in mind. If you are doing most topics, the frequent databases, the featured databases over here will be super helpful. Academic Search Complete is probably the best general database. If you have a topic that has some kind of back and forth opposing viewpoints in context is a great one. This is also a good one for figuring out a topic if you don't know what topic you want to write about. And then there are certainly all kinds of other ones, but very simple search, Academic Search Complete will do that one. This is probably one that you used in ENC 1101. And so it may already be something that you're familiar with. We're going to be using some of the more literature specialized databases down the road, but probably most of you are writing about non-literary topics for this first paper. So Academic Search Complete is a good one. I'm going to do a sample search. Let's say I was interested in writing about, I'm gonna I'm gonna see what we have on the Sarah Boone case. I was religiously following the Sarah. Nope, nothing. Okay, so let's just put in Sarah Boone. See if we get anything. Interesting. Sarah Boone is a very highly publicized article or person that should be in a lot of articles. Um, I'm not finding anything, so this is one of those times when I might ask one of the librarians to help me with it. But the court, let's see, let's put in, oh, I know, let's put in suitcase murder and see, because I know for sure this has been written about in periodicals. So, no, interesting. All right. Well, sometimes more contemporary topics are a little harder to find. Let's put in an older trial. Let's do one that's historical. The Lizzie Borden case is a good example of a historical crime. So if you're interested in true crime, maybe don't do something that's super new, maybe do something that's a little older. When we do the search in Academic Search Complete, we get 8 results right away, all of which could be potential sources. So this is a good place to start. Sometimes when we search in Academic Search Complete, we may get too many hits. Let's say, let's do a search about a sport. Let's do soccer. Oops, except I can't spell today. So if I just search the term soccer, you will notice that I have, close to 50,000 results. So sometimes when you search in a database such as Academic Search Complete, you may have to narrow it down a little bit. Let's say I wanted to talk about soccer and nutrition. That could be kind of interesting. When I do that, I have 607 articles, which is a lot more manageable. So it's there's a lot of different ways that you can narrow things down. There's a lot of different ways that you can expand searches if you're not finding something that you want. I will note that peer reviewed was not checked on this. You do not have to have peer reviewed sources, even though those are typically more academic than non-peer peer reviewed sources. But at the level that we're writing, a 1000 level, there's plenty of magazine and newspaper articles that could still be perfectly fine. So you do not need to check that off. You do want to look for things that you can get the full text of. So you don't want to find an article that looks really great and then not be able to access it. So that is not a bad a bad reminder. The other thing I wanted to show you, though, while we're in library materials, let me just go back to the library page. There we go. Is that you have the ability to reach out for help directly from the librarians. So on the library's page, there is a link to chat. There is a link to setting up a research session. So don't hesitate to reach out for help from the library. And of course, if you're on campus, you can actually go to the library and work with librarians there. Librarians are rock stars when it comes to finding information. So whatever you want to write about, you should be able to write about. It just may mean reaching out for some extra help on searching it. And you can certainly use books. I'm just out of curiosity because I am surprised that there was nothing on her. I'm going to look for Sarah Boone in the Primo search and see if I don't get a bunch more. Nope, I still don't. Interesting. I mean, I know for sure she's been written about in the Orlando Sentinel. Let's go to databases A to Z. I think the Orlando Sentinel has its own listing and its own database. Yep, there it is. So let's go to Orlando Sentinel out of curiosity. Yeah. Yes, there we go. Now we have 9 articles. So again, sometimes just finding the right place to search is the key. Definitely using the Primo search can help with being as general as possible. But you may also want to go to something very specific, like if it's a story from Orlando or our area, then you may want to go in search specifically in the Orlando Sentinel. So there's all kinds of wonderful things you can do there. And mostly my main reminder is to reach out for help if needed. Now, I also wanted to show you while we're here, I want to go to the citation guides. We have the links here to the APA style and the MLA style. And I wanted to point out to you that both of those have an annotated bibliography template that you can use. So if you need some help getting everything set up properly, I do highly recommend starting with the template, and that way you don't have to worry about it. So if you're using APA this week, you would want the annotated bibliography student template, and then next week you would want the APA student sample paper template. Okay. That is also true for the MLA. Let me show you that. Same thing, we have, there's the handouts. We have the MLA sample paper and we have the MLA 9th edition annotated bibliography template. So those are always available to you. If you have Microsoft Word on your computer, they should open automatically. If you are using Office 365 fully online, you may have to save the document and then open it. But they should open, and you should be able to open them even if you're using, say, Google Docs or something like that. So if you need help with it, though, let me know. I'm happy to help with the technical stuff as well. All right, everybody, that's what's happening this week. I'm looking forward to those annotated bibliographies. Take care, everybody.